epilepsy warning for flashing lights and colors.
Well, after weeks of researching hydraulic fluids and battling a cold that stubbornly turned into bronchitis as usual, I have finally arrived at my long-awaited top 30 best-rated coasters in the world video. Now, while I don't have the resources to ride every single coaster on Earth, this list is going to discuss the top 30 coasters as rated by the amazing website Captain Coaster, link in the description. Now, this website is unique as its rating system isn't just a popularity contest. Captain Coaster uses something called a pairwise comparison system. Basically, every time someone rates at least 2 coasters they've ridden, the system compares their scores head-to-head. Multiply that across thousands of riders and thousands of coasters, and you end up with a definitive ranking system that reflects the majority opinion of the community. This system means that rare or less well-known coasters have just as much a chance to rise to the top as some big-name rides. It's a unique system, and it's updated regularly to adjust for new rides. One thing to keep in mind is that though each coaster has a percentage rating, it's likely rounded from smaller decimal points, so it may seem like there are a lot of ties on this list, but there is a definitive ranking. For now, I'll be discussing the currently ranked top 30. Though the ratings change month to month, you can think of this video as a guide to some of the best coasters on the planet and help you decide where to go next. I'll also provide real quotes from Captain Coaster users to give you an idea of what they're saying. So with that in mind, let's dive into this list of the world's top-rated coasters according to the riders who've experienced them. Number 30, Twisted Colossus at California's Six Flags Magic Mountain. Initially, this coaster got its start in 1978 as simply Colossus. Originally, this attraction consisted of 2 separate wooden coaster tracks that raced side by side. Years later, though, it would be given a major makeover by Idaho-based manufacturer Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC for short. What RMC did was take both tracks and connect them together into one ride experience. This quasi-Mobius loop layout allows passengers to experience both tracks in one ride. No need to get back in line. As for the ride itself, RMC installed their revolutionary iBox track on the coaster, allowing its layout to have new airtime moments and 2 new inversions. These excellent elements are a zero-G roll and a Top Gun stall, which interact with the other track. Though the coaster is solid on its own, if you're lucky, you can experience the dreamlike thrill of racing another train. This surreal, high-energy experience is truly one that has to be experienced in person. With its nice long layout, thrilling interactions between tracks, and unfiltered thrills, this coaster boasts a 98% rating on Captain Coaster. Captain Coaster user Brandon L. calls it one of my favorite coasters, and Jules US says, literally 0 complaints. If you haven't experienced it, it's definitely one for the bucket list. Number 29, Helix at Sweden's Liseberg. This creation is made by famous German manufacturer Mach Rides. First opening in 2014, this coaster boasts a layout of over 4,500 feet and a healthy lineup of 7 inversions. The first of these inversions is a corkscrew straight out of the station. Another notable element is the twisty Norwegian loop, which takes riders upside down twice. It's actually one of only 3 Norwegian loops in the world, and is the most recent one constructed according to the roller coaster database. Captain Coaster users say the course as a whole contains plenty of airtime and hang time, and it's widely considered to be a work of art. Overall, Helix has received heavy acclaim, earning a 98.1% rating. Daniel Stark says, quote, "It's a coaster that has both the airtime, layout, hang time, and general quality of a top-tier ride, but also some very intense positive G-forces, more common on inverts or rides with less out-of-your-seat moments." Jack G added, "Incredible layout, full of high positive G-forces and high negative G-forces." Suffice to say, if you plan on visiting this part of Sweden, be sure to book a ticket to Liseberg and give Helix a spin. Number 28, Hyperion at Poland's Energylandia. This is the first of many coasters on this list built by Swiss manufacturer Intamin. This mega coaster sends riders on a fictional mission to Saturn's moon, and the excursion is jam-packed with speed, towering drops, and relentless airtime. After ascending an impressive lift hill, you'll plunge over 200 feet at an 85-degree angle straight into a tunnel. All the while, you'll hit a top speed of 88 miles per hour, which ranks among the fastest coasters in Europe. From there, Hyperion fires you into a stunning camelback hill and a dramatic dive-drop inversion. As of right now, this is actually the fastest roller coaster on Earth to have an inversion. The second half is more low to the ground, delivering intense dives, overbank turns, and ejector hills that pop you from your seat again and again. With a 98.1% rating, Captain Coaster reviewers can't get enough. Joey K calls it a titan of a coaster. The first drop is terrifying, fast dives, helixes, and ejector hills. Aurelian R says, the first drop is awesome, the elements are all super interesting, and the air times are monstrous. Hyperion is Poland's tallest, fastest, and longest coaster, and one of the most aggressive airtime machines on Earth. If your idea of fun is being flung skyward at ludicrous speed, this is a must-ride. Number 27, Beyond the Cloud at China's Suzhou Amusement Land Forest World. Also built by Mach Rides, this coaster is currently their fastest one to date. At a top speed of 80.5 miles per hour, this coaster launches riders straight into an enormous 205-foot top hat. Afterwards, a bonkers course packs in 5 inversions. A zero-G roll, an Immelmann, a double inverting Cobra roll, and a standard vertical loop. Despite reported capacity and operations issues, riders have greatly praised the ejector airtime and the layout's inversions. It's definitely a lesser-known coaster among Western enthusiasts, but thanks to Captain Coaster's ranking system, it makes the list. On Captain Coaster, this ride boasts a 98.2% rating, with many calling it one of Mach Ride's most ambitious attractions. One reviewer named Eric the Cockapoo said, "Awesome, just awesome. Beyond the Cloud is surely one of China's finest." Dennis B says, "This ride is just incredible. It has everything you need just right." By all accounts, it's an excellent launch coaster and another winner from the company. Number 26, Dinoconda at China Dinosaurs Park. This is the second and final coaster from China to make this list. This is one of only 2 fourth-dimension roller coasters built by American manufacturer S&S Sansei, excluding the 4D free-spin model, of course. This coaster came about after a 2002 acquisition where S&S, then known as S&S Worldwide, purchased the assets of Aerodynamics after the latter company's bankruptcy. These included the rights to build the fourth dimension coaster, which first opened as X at California's Six Flags Magic Mountain. Since then, S&S has built 2 of these types of coasters, and by all accounts, they are said to be even better than the original prototype. As for the ride itself, this coaster's star feature is the rotating wing seats on each side of the track. These floorless trains use a rack and pinion gear system to rotate the seats in sync with the position of the rails. So every ride features the same rotation, and every rotation is specifically designed to add intensity to the layout. At many points in the ride, you'll encounter near misses where it feels like you've left the track and are about to slam into the supports or the ground. With steep drops, high speeds, a zero-G roll, and 2 Raven turn inversions, this surreal ride experience is guaranteed to leave your heart pounding out of your chest. Enthusiasts have greatly praised this coaster, giving it an average rating of 98.3% on Captain Coaster. Benjamin Andrews calls it probably the best coaster in China, and Mathis C writes, "A monster, it's indescribable what you feel on this coaster, absolutely to do at least once in your life." All of that said, here's a spoiler alert, this won't be the last of these machines to make the list. Number 25, Taron at Germany's Phantasialand. Yet another Intamin coaster. This one has become world famous for its incredible theming. This coaster is part of the park's Klugheim-themed area, in a zone meant to resemble a mythical Norse village. Surrounded by towering basalt cliffs, waterfalls, and rockwork so immersive you may just forget you're in a theme park. The course begins with an intense magnetic launch that slings you to 50 miles per hour in an instant. From there, Taron plunges into a labyrinth of near misses, canyon dives, and rapid transitions that keep you braced for the next move. Speaking of near misses, you'll cross over or under the track 116 times, more than any other coaster in the world. Not only that, but there are several other near-miss moments where you come inches away from the rockwork and waterfalls. Believe it or not, Taron's second launch is faster than its first, propelling you to 73 miles per hour. From that point, the ride never lets up. There is plenty of airtime to go around, and the whole thing is just a fast-paced dream come true. Captain Coaster reviewers often rave about this coaster, giving it a 98.3% rating. EDB Attractions calls it a very intense roller coaster with changes of direction and turns made very quickly, not to mention some really good airtime. Milan V says, in my opinion, a totally flawless ride. The twisted ejector airtime hill, the second launch, and the first twist out of the tunnel are some of my favorite ride elements of all time. Taron is a supreme example of solid pacing, theming, and thrills, a ride that in many ways is impossible to forget. Number 24, Kondaa at Wallaby, Belgium. I actually remember when they first announced this ride at the 2018 IAAPA Expo. The hype stole the show, and now the coaster is indeed operational, and it's the park's star attraction. If your idea of a perfect coaster is endless airtime and unique elements you can't find anywhere else, Kondaa is a standout in Europe's collection. This Intamin mega coaster holds the title of being the tallest and fastest coaster in the region. As a bonus, its layout has a staggering 15 moments of weightlessness packed in. The ride kicks off with an 80-degree twisting drop that whips you to 70 miles per hour. From there, you're sent over a massive camelback and a sharply outwards banked airtime hill. Then comes its signature and world's first non-inverting cobra roll. That sounds like an oxymoron, but it's actually a surreal and extremely inventive element designed to bend your perspective without flipping you upside down. The second half throws some extra seasoning into the mix, a wall stall, an overbang turnaround, and a jubilant sequence of ejector airtime hills. Overall, there's a lot to love about this coaster, and many agree it lives up to the hype. On Captain Coaster, Kondaa sits at a lofty 98.3% rating. Mathis Costello says, I just think this ride is absolutely fantastic and well worth the praise. Calls it so smooth and powerful. With its mix of unique elements and airtime, Kondaa earns its acclaim and is one of the best coasters in the Benelux region. Number 23, T-Express at South Korea's Everland. This right here is widely considered to be the best wooden roller coaster in all of Asia. Built by Intamin, this is one of the company's rare prefabricated wooden coasters. In case you've ever wondered, this ride is named after its sponsor, South Korea's largest phone company, T-World. This is South Korea's longest roller coaster with a length of over a mile long. The ride begins with a swift cable lift climb before curving into a steep plunge. From there, T-Express hurls you into a massive camelback hill before diving straight into an intense banked turn. The layout can best be described as pure airtime insanity, complete with some superb head chopper effects with the support structure. Ejector hills, forceful turns, and a lengthy course give you your money's worth for sure. In fact, this ride experience is over 3 minutes long, a relative rarity in the coaster world. On Captain Coaster, T-Express boasts a stellar 98.4% rating. Matt H says, this ride is pure perfection, unbelievable. Jeremy C calls it everything you'd hope it to be. South Korea's coaster lineup may be small compared to other highly populated countries, but T-Express is an absolute crown jewel and an unmissable bucket list attraction. Number 22, El Toro at New Jersey Six Flags Great Adventure. Here we have another excellent wooden coaster from Intamin. It's also the highest rated wooden coaster in the US. Standing at 181 feet tall, this is another Intamin prefabricated woody just like T-Express. This coaster is an airtime intensity machine crafted from lumber. After a brisk cable lift, you crest the top and turn around before diving 176 feet at 76 degrees. This drop feels far steeper than even the stats suggest. In the back row, it's a gut-busting freefall that leaves even veteran riders speechless. From there, El Toro launches you into a pair of big fat camelback hills, delivering ejector airtime so strong it feels like it's trying to toss you into another state. One of these dives under its own structure, creating a killer head chopper effect. The second half switches gears into a rapid-fire twister section, packed with snappy turns and wild directional changes. And to add some fine finishing salt to this pretzel, the ride throws in its infamous S-curve camelbacks. 3 back-to-back airtime pops that make for a perfect finale. On Captain Coaster, El Toro proudly boasts a 98.4% score. Storm in Norman says, the first drop from the back row is absolutely insane, and the airtime moments are among the best of any coaster. Nico Gibson adds, right after a retrack, it is running smooth, fast, intense, and the drop is phenomenal. Simply put, this creation is wooden coaster perfection, and absolutely unmissable. Number 21, Twisted Timbers at Virginia's King's Dominion. If you're the kind of rider who lives for airtime, Twisted Timbers is just what you're looking for. Built by RMC on the bones of the old Hurler wooden coaster, this hybrid beast has one defining trait: ejector airtime, and lots of it. In fact, it's hard to even keep count of how many times you'll be ripped out of your seat. This is just a non-stop barrage that truly proves that you can never have enough airtime. The action kicks off with what I consider to be a legendary barrel-rolled down drop, which flips riders upside down as they plunge towards the ground. A series of ejector hills keeps you pinned to the lap bar, broken up by 2 additional inversions, a cutback, and an epic 0G roll. Together, they complement the airtime barrage beautifully, like the perfect pairing of a fine wine and a medium-rare steak. The theming is also worth pointing out, as the ride is set in the midst of an apple orchard that was ravaged and frozen in time by mysterious forces. There are vintage vehicles, the titular Twisted Timbers, and what looks like some kind of extraterrestrial pod. It's extremely unique and quirky, fitting right into the Candy Apple Grove area of the park. I'm a sucker for solid theming. Captain Coaster shares this praise, giving the coaster a 98.6% rating. Mark C says, insane ejector, this thing is truly twisted. Bingo Dingo says, it's intense and had great airtime, and it glides over the track like butter. Honestly, Twisted Timbers is one of the finest airtime machines in existence, and a must-ride for thrill seekers making their way through Virginia. Number 20, Stardust Racers, the yellow photon side at Florida's Epic Universe. Just opening this year, Universal Epic Universe is already being showered with praise from enthusiasts. Among its top attractions is Stardust Racers. This dueling launched coaster experience consists of 2 separate tracks that interact with each other throughout the layout. The backstory is that the Celestians, who reside in the Celestial Park area of Epic Universe, have taught themselves how to ride comets and are showing park guests how to ride them by allowing them to race against each other. Both tracks made the list, and at number 20 is the yellow side, known as Photon. Shortly after dispatch, you'll hit a magnetic launch that sends you zooming into the course alongside the adjacent green track. Shortly thereafter, the tracks go their separate ways, but do pass by, over, and under each other in several thrilling ways. Photon features ejector hills and the ride's signature moment, the Celestial Spin. Each track undergoes this element differently. Here, your train dives into a barrel-rolled down drop while the opposing green train soars above you through a 0G roll. This crisscross visual is truly jaw-dropping. You can look straight up at riders inverted above you before whipping downward yourself. Of course, with all of that airtime and the thrilling crossover features, it's no surprise that Photon has an excellent 98.6 rating on Captain Coaster. Evan Schwartz calls it thrilling and visually breathtaking. Meanwhile, AireForce Racer writes, I have a hot take and believe yellow is far better than green. The airtime felt stronger, some of the strongest ejector I've ever felt. What do reviewers say about the green track? Find out later. Number 19, Voltron Nevera at Germany's Europa Park. Voltron opened in 2024 as the star of Europa Park's Croatia-themed area. This coaster is based on electricity and the experiments of Croatian-born inventor Nikola Tesla. The ride's story takes guests inside an old waterworks plant that Tesla acquired for energy-focused experiments. As explained in the dark ride portion, you are the test subjects, as Tesla attempts to transport people with electric energy. After a dark ride pre-show with dazzling effects and a surprising bounce track, you're hurled up a beyond vertical launch, which is the steepest of its kind at 105 degrees. From there, Voltron unloads an arsenal of thrills, an inside top hat, 3 corkscrews, an Immelman, a turntable, and more. When it comes to the elements, there is no shortage in variety, and that's exactly what enthusiasts praise about this coaster. and the Croatian theming makes it even more awesome. It's no wonder this attraction has earned a stellar 98.6 rating on Captain Coaster, and the ride cements itself as one of the most acclaimed coasters of the decade. Camille says, Voltron is a masterpiece, an experience, the theming is super neat, and how many airtimes are there? I lost count. Meanwhile, Both D says, if someone had told me that this coaster would have knocked me off my feet every time I rode it, I probably would have thought it was a joke, but it's definitely a reality. Many would say it's not only the best coaster at Europa Park, or perhaps in Germany in general, but a fitting tribute to the OG Tesla's spark of genius. Number 18, Wildfire at Sweden's Kolmården. You can already tell there's going to be a lot of RMC coasters on this list, and for good reason. Located about a couple of hours outside of Stockholm, this coaster resides at the Kolmården Zoo. Despite some early zoning controversy with local officials, this coaster continues to operate to this day as the top-rated roller coaster in Sweden and the top-rated wooden coaster in the world. At the top of the lift hill, you'll be treated to picturesque panoramic views of the surrounding forests and the Baltic coastline. What follows is a near vertical drop at 83 degrees before you're snapped into a zero-G stall. In addition to plenty of airtime moments and heavily banked turns, you'll experience not one, but two Heartline rolls. Another awesome addition worth noting is the surreal slalom sequence that brings you to the edge of a natural rock wall. The entire layout flows seamlessly with the rocky, tree-covered terrain, making it feel like it's actually part of the wilderness itself. It's pretty much the high-intensity punchline of what you get when you mix RMC's pure chaos with the natural beauty of the Swedish coast. All of that said, is it any surprise that this coaster has a 98.6 rating on Captain Coaster? Survey says no. Richard Michael Hellborg refers to it as truly a masterpiece, a must-ride for all coaster enthusiasts. And Janik G says, the first drop is incredible with the turnaround before it too, and the first half in general is totally relentless. The stall and the outward bank turn are just insanely cool. When it comes to balls-to-the-wall attractions, this is one true standout for Scandinavia. Number 17, Toutatis at France's Parc Astérix. Announced alongside Kondaa at IAAPA 2018, this coaster first opened in 2023. Nowadays, many consider it to be the best ride in all of France. Built by Intamin, this coaster is themed to the Asterix comic series and named after a catchphrase that references a Celtic god. The coaster itself combines raw power with masterful pacing and truly gives you a ride to remember. The star of the show is without question the triple launch sequence. Now this moment of the ride is extremely cool. What you do first is launch forwards into the top hat, but you don't get enough momentum to complete it. So you roll back, then the LSMs launch you backwards into a tall vertical spike, and then finally, gravity takes you downwards, giving you enough momentum to hit the launch and complete the top hat. Oh, and I forgot to mention that before you roll back, a high-speed switch track changes direction so that you go into the spike. From there, Toutatis packs in plenty of airtime and speed. Quick ejector pops, graceful sustained floater airtime, and the fan-favorite zero-G stall all punctuate the ride's standout appeal. A hill after the turnaround serves up some of the most powerful airtime in France, and the pacing never lets up. At a 98.7% on Captain Coaster, riders agree that this ride is one for the bucket list. Mr. Brick says, it deserves its title of the best coaster in France. At night, it's even better. And Alex D. Viert says, the launches are amazing and the pace is flawless. It truly is an S-tier launch coaster. Number 16, Stardust Racers Greenside, aka Pulsar, at Epic Universe. According to most park guests, Pulsar is the star of the show with this coaster experience. The Greenside has quickly become a fan favorite, and you can tell by how much longer the lines for it are compared to its yellow counterpart. Like Photon, Pulsar features 2 launches, an 110-foot top hat, endless ejector airtime, and the stunning Celestial Park backdrop. But what makes Pulsar stand out is how it kicks off the ride's signature moment, the Celestial Spin. Immediately after the second launch, Pulsar flips riders upside down into a gargantuan zero-G roll. This soars directly above Photon's train. In this case, you're definitely going to want to look down, because the visual is absolutely otherworldly. Yeah, that was 2 adverts in a row, whatever. This thrilling inversion makes the ride stand out as wilder and more daring than its twin, hence the longer lines from thrill seekers. As such, Pulsar packs a stellar 98.9% rating on Captain Coaster. In short, this track earns its longer wait time, and the ride as a whole has strong visuals, and the duel is wholly entertaining from start to finish. Eyebrow says, "This is Universal Orlando's airtime machine, no questions asked." Ghost Rider adds, "I just have no words, Mach pushed all the sliders to the extreme." Stardust Racers is certainly one of Universal's greatest attractions to date, but it's Pulsar that takes the victory lap in this list. Number 15, Wildcat's Revenge at Pennsylvania's Hershey Park. Once known as simply Wildcat, this was a notorious wooden coaster that left riders with sore ribs and a laughably squeaky brake run. For the 2023 season, though, Wildcat was resurrected by RMC into a relentless airtime machine. Climbing an imposing lift hill, you plunge 135 feet at an 82-degree angle, a drop that hits hard, especially in the back row. The layout is a 5-star buffet of variety, with a plethora of airtime moments and 4 distinct inversions, the highlight of which is the world's largest underflip. The airtime here is ferocious, with countless pops that many describe as the strongest they've ever felt. Plus, the transitions are fast, the laterals are surprising, and the track is panna cotta smooth. This feline has all its shots, proudly possessing a 98.9% rating on Captain Coaster. Sean Becker says, "This ride is perfect and is so smooth and still has so much intensity." Minaxa says, "Ride this at night, trust me, it will change you." Indeed, what was once an aging, creaky relic is now a top-tier predator in the coaster world. Wildcat's Revenge is smooth, aggressive, and unrelenting, the perfect definition of a comeback story. Number 14, Untamed at the Netherlands Walibi Holland. Not to be confused with the coaster of the same name at Canopy Lake Park, this Untamed is an entirely different beast. Opened in 2019, RMC took the bones of Walibi Holland's old Robin Hood wooden coaster and transformed it into one of Europe's most celebrated hybrids. This right here is a compact but ferocious airtime machine with fangs that are sharp enough to cut through a dollar store steak. At just 121 feet tall, the stats don't seem like much on paper, but the ride absolutely proves itself. The first drop may not be massive, but in the back row, it delivers a roundhouse kick to the gut worth of airtime that sets the tone for what's to come. Immediately afterward, Untamed unleashes its signature move, a double inverting corner stall. Some Captain Coaster users call it the most creative and satisfying inversion on any RMC. From there, it's chaos in the best possible way. The layout threads together wave turns, ejector airtime hills, and 4 astonishing inversions. The pacing is impeccable, and every hill, turn, and roll flows seamlessly into the next, with 0 dead spots. Add in a silky smooth tracking and crisp as barbecue chip transitions, and you have a ride that's aggressive and refined. A ride well worthy of its 99% rating on Captain Coaster. Man says, "This ride starts with a bang and doesn't stop banging." And GLaDOS says, "My first RMC was a great one, and this is one of the best coasters in the world." It may have a compact footprint, but Untamed is undoubtedly a world-class experience that's often labeled as one of the best in Europe. Number 13, Pantherian at Virginia's King's Dominion. If you're craving a delicious poke bowl of speed, impressive heights, and raw forces, Pantherian is calling your name. Once known as Intimidator 305 as a tribute to the late Dale Earnhardt, this beast has since shed its NASCAR skin and stands as a top attraction of the park's revitalized Jungle Expedition area. Dominating the Virginia skyline at 305 feet, the high-speed cable lift pulls up to a sublimely bonkers 85-degree drop. This plunge takes you straight into a vicious turn whose G-forces caused countless grayouts over the years and even a few blackouts. You can learn more about those blackouts in the description. After the infamous first turn, Pantherian fires you into a colossal airtime hill that launches you skyward before whipping you through a fast-paced sequence of low-to-the-ground curves. By the end, you'll be simply dumbfounded at what you just experienced in the best way. Captain Coaster reviewers give Pantherian a 99% score, cementing its place as Virginia's highest-rated coaster. Lettuce2 praises the ride, saying, "Everything this ride does, it does better than any other coaster on the planet. The first drop, the airtime, the snaps, and the raw speed." Coaster Brocam says of it, "The intensity and whips are just absolutely awesome. The airtime hill gives strong ejector, and of course, that bone-crushing turn makes me gray out almost every time." To put it bluntly, Pantherian is a savage, high-velocity ride that's a must-do for thrill seekers. Number 12, Maverick at Ohio's Cedar Point. At a park known for towering record breakers, Maverick proves that you don't need massive stats to be world-class. At the edge of Cedar Point's peninsula, this Intamin Blitz coaster is pure Wild West intensity from start to finish, and a longtime fan favorite. Right out of the gate, Maverick gets right to the point. Instead of a traditional lift, an LSM hill sends you upwards before you plunge down a 95-degree beyond vertical drop. In the back row, you're totally yeeted over the edge, and it packs a true falcon punch of ejector air. From there, Maverick strings together an unyielding mix of ejector airtime, whippy turns, and its signature twisted horseshoe roll, the first of its kind in the world. The transitions are faster than an airplane toilet flush, the laterals are powerful, and the pacing leaves almost no room to catch your breath. The best part? A dark tunnel with one of the most forceful LSM launches anywhere, sending you straight into a sweeping turn over the water. The whole thing definitely deserves its 99% rating on Captain Coaster. Building PO says, "Wow, this is intense, but amazing. The tunnel is the epitome of tunnels. Please ride this." LB adds, "This is such a great coaster and absolutely worth the long wait times. It may not break height or speed records, but with its pacing, airtime, and launches, it's a true classic." Number 11, Batman Gotham City Escape at Spain's Parque Warner Madrid. Ever wonder what the best coaster in Spain is? Well, in 2023, Batman Gotham City Escape took that honor with its blockbuster theming and elite thrills. The ride itself is divided into 3 explosive launch sections. The first hits right out the station, the second powers you up the towering top hat, and the third slings you into the finale with style. For airtime connoisseurs, users say the highlight is by far the monstrous airtime hill. Also spicing things up is a slick corkscrew and a graceful zero-G stall that leaves riders hanging. The layout is compact but psychotic, stringing together ejector airtime, laterals, and hang time like a well-crafted film trilogy. All of this, plus the super smooth track, give the coaster a well-earned 99% rating on Captain Coaster. Nose Pata says, "WTF Intamin, this is insane. I can't find a single bad thing about this ride." George S. writes, "The launches are punchy, the ejectors aggressive, and stall is nuts." It is considered to be the best coaster in the park, the best coaster in Spain, and for some, the best coaster in the entire European continent. Number 10, Fury 325 at North Carolina's Carowinds. Few rides live up to their hype as much as Fury 325 did. Often ranked among the best roller coasters on Earth, it will be clear to see why after you take just one ride. Built by Swiss manufacturer Bolliger & Mabillard, or B&M for short, this Giga Coaster is surprisingly the only coaster by the company to make this list. It all starts with the world's tallest lift hill at 325 feet. This leads you into one of the greatest first drops of all time. This plunge feels like it lasts forever. Afterwards, Fury spends much of its time hugging the ground, emphasizing sheer speed, intensity, and lateral snap. In addition to some punchy airtime hills, there are the signature elements, the treble clef dive and the hive dive, both of which twist and swoop with hornet-like precision suitable to the ride's theme. With a track length of 6,602 feet, Fury is one of the longest coasters in the world, and it definitely makes every foot count. It's like a foot-long hot dog with all the works. With a Captain Coaster score of 99.1%, this ride delivers a powerful sting. Jack Ledford states, "B&M's magnum opus, it's their best coaster and it's not even close." Burb from Not Canada says, "Fury has no right to be so smooth at 95 miles per hour. Front row might be the best ride on any coaster." Whether you're in the front row for that wind-in-your-face intensity or the back row for that out-of-your-seat yank over the drop, you're likely to come off of this absolutely stunned. Number 9, AireForce One at Georgia's Fun Spot Atlanta. This behemoth instantly earned a reputation as one of the best coasters on Earth, and it put a once-overlooked park on the map for thrill seekers. After one of the most acclaimed first drops in RMC's catalog, the layout wastes no time. You just tear through a sequence of massive elements at breakneck speed with no dull moments. Highlights include the surreal Raven Trust Dive turnaround, a drawn-out zero-G stall, and an outward-banked airtime hill that pulls you out of your seat sideways. Later on, a double-up launches into the blistering arcade roll, a unique inversion that actually goes over the park's arcade. And much like a luscious strawberry cold foam on a salted caramel latte, the closing stretch tops everything off with style, delivering a totally epic quadruple down. For many enthusiasts, AireForce One has vaulted into their personal top 10 lists, and on Captain Coaster, it sits pretty at number 9 with a 99.5% rating. Matthew Kofer declares, "Loved AireForce, sucked riding in the back when a guy with a pocket full of quarters rode and I got pelted with quarters the whole time. Not the ride's fault, 10 out of 10. Hands Up Studios adds, "The airtime strength on this is top tier and the inversions are awesome." Simply put, this coaster alone is worth the trip to the park. Number 8. Taiga at Finland's Linnanmäki. This is the only coaster from Finland to make this list, and you can call it a grand champion for the country's ride lineup. In fact, enthusiasts around the world plan entire trips to Helsinki just to ride this coaster. Starting off with a rolling LSM launch, you head straight into a zero-G winder, which is followed by some thrilling bank turns. Then, the second launch takes you into the even more thrilling latter half of the ride. This is the part that enthusiasts really give brownie points to. The boost fires you over a towering top hat, offering some truly powerful airtime. The following zero-G stall stretches gracefully in a uniquely disorienting twist. Then you've got an Immelmann, rapid S-curves, and a twisting airtime hill. To cap it off, Taiga flips riders one last time with a zero-G roll before sliding into the brakes. With a 99.5% average rating, Taiga is currently rocking the number 8 spot. Taliko Jontava says, "At the first element, zero-G winder, I knew that this is going to be my favorite ride ever." Francois Bin says, "Taiga is an excellent ride with a beautifully designed layout that delivers a wide variety of forces. It's pretty clear that this coaster is worth checking out, so feel free to book a ticket to Helsinki and give it a whirl." Number 7. Hakugei at Japan's Nagashima Spa Land. Once known as White Cyclone, this massive wooden coaster was infamous for its size and not its ride quality. Once again, RMC came to the rescue because in 2019, the ride reopened as Hakugei, or White Whale in English. It became taller, faster, and transformed into one of the greatest hybrids on Earth. This experience sets the tone right away with an unusually active pre-lift before heading up the main lift towards the big drop. For this drop, most thrill seekers recommend the back row, as the force of drag whips passengers out of their seats as the train plunges down. From there, Hakugei delivers a sprawling, flowing layout packed with highlights. A zero-G stall, multiple smooth rolls with ample hang time, and wave after wave of ejector airtime hills. The course is long and beautifully paced, and some of the best moments are when the track weaves within the structure, delivering flybys and head chopper effects. Add in the seaside lift hill and you've got a presentation deserving of its 99.5% score. Jeremy C. says, "This lesser-ridden RMC sets itself apart from most with its amazing airtime and great flow, simply so much fun." Slavis Celery writes, "This ride is smooth, elegant, flowing, twisty, and fun. What was once a rough wooden coaster is now a world-class hybrid, celebrated by enthusiasts as one of the most airtime-packed rides in existence." Number 6. The Ride to Happiness at Belgium's Plopsaland de Pan. After the success of Time Traveler at Missouri's Silver Dollar City, Mach Rides had proven their extreme spinning coaster concept could work. But in Belgium, they pushed the idea to its absolute limit. In 2021, Plopsaland de Pan unveiled Ride to Happiness, a multi-million euro investment that instantly became one of Europe's most acclaimed thrill rides. From the very start, you know this ride means business. Straight out of the station, the train spins into a full Heartline roll. Soon after this thrilling kickoff, the train launches forwards with magnetic force, rocketing up 108 feet into an outwards banked turn. What follows is a vertical plunge over the park's pond, which feels completely out of control thanks to the spinning cars. The rest of the layout is a high-quality Caesar salad of inversions and airtime. You'll soar through a banana roll, dive into a vertical loop, twist through a zero-G roll, and flip upside down into a step-up underflip. With the rotating cars, the intensity of every moment is amplified, and every inversion is disorienting in the best possible way without an ultra-extreme nausea rating. Riders consistently describe the experience as pure sensory overload, and by the time you glide back into the station, your head will be spinning in a figurative sense, after a literal sense. Ride to Happiness more than lives up to its name, being honored on Captain Coaster with a 99.6% rating. Pengo WD states, "Incredible, a bit nervous at first, but oh my god, it is good. I felt like I was hanging mid-air for most of it." Finley H says, "Perfect, no notes, all the whip, intensity, hang time, disorientation, ejectors, and theming you could ever want." Inverted Thrill states, "Holy crap, this ride is insane." It certainly has a reputation as one of Europe's best coasters, and it's one of the most unforgettable ride experiences on the planet. Number 5, Eejanaika, Japan's Fuji-Q Highland.
Actually, it's pronounced, Eejanaika, but, I am not recording this whole segment again.
This right here is the other SNS 4th Dimension coaster, and it also made this list. Though its layout is similar to Dinoconda, it is widely considered to be the superior of the two. Opened in 2006 at Fuji-Q Highland, this SNS masterpiece outdid its American predecessor X on every level. Of course, you've got that epic dive that faces you straight down, and the wildness continues from there. Right after a massive Raven turn, the ride slams you into a zero-G roll, one of the most disorienting and unforgettable sequences on any coaster. And thanks to the ride's rotating seats, every element feels twice as unpredictable, with forces hitting from every direction imaginable. The train technology was upgraded from X2's original design, and many enthusiasts note that the seat rotation is smoother and wilder, a paradox only Eejanaika could pull off. The result of its innovation is a coaster that feels like an eruption of non-stop intensity, which is perfectly suited to its dramatic setting at the base of Mount Fuji. With its intensity, world-class stats, and unique 4D mayhem, Eejanaika is one of the most extreme rides anywhere on Earth. On Captain Coaster, its 99.6 rating just shows how beloved it is. Alice VT says, "I really enjoyed this coaster. It's high, fast, a tad scary, but also fairly smooth." Theme Park Vex says, "Best ride in the world, period." It's the highest rated coaster in all of Japan, and it's really no wonder why. Number 4, Zadra Energylandia. From the millisecond this coaster was announced, enthusiasts immediately knew it would be one of the best RMC creations ever. Unlike other RMCs, this coaster was not a makeover of an old wooden coaster, but a completely ground-up iBox creation. Towering over the park with its wooden frame and sleek steel track, Zadra is a visually badass powerhouse of an attraction. The first drop is simply enormous, sending riders down a full vertical drop into a lengthy, fast-paced layout that maintains its speed and entertainment factor throughout. For one thing, there's the gargantuan zero-G stall, where riders hang weightless for what feels like an eternity. You've also got the excellent pair of sweet and savory zero-G rolls. If you're looking for airtime, this ride has plenty, with sharp ejector pops and some longer sustained moments. Put that in a blender with some forceful turns and G-forces, and you've got a delicious smoothie of an RMC coaster. According to Captain Coaster users, every element has purpose, and the whole thing is wrapped up in a smooth-as-hell package. With a 99.8% score, it's an elite coaster in many ways, and perhaps the top reason to visit Energylandia. Patrick May declares, "Definitely my number 1. I highly suggest the back, since that is where you get insane whip going down the first drop." Dominic K adds, "Absolute masterpiece from start to finish, from its imposing looks to its breakneck pace throughout the whole layout. It is the highest rated coaster in all of Europe, and many could argue that it's one of the greatest roller coasters in the world." Number 3, Velocicoaster at Florida's Islands of Adventure. The Universal Orlando Resort has got another big winner with this one. Though the Jurassic World films are a bit of a mixed bag, this Intamin launch coaster quickly became a fan favorite and is now considered the best ride in all of Orlando. Right out of the station, you're immersed in the Raptor paddock. Lush greenery, raptor figures, and towering rockworks surround you, creating one of the most immersive coaster environments ever. And the theming is more than just some pretty scenery. It creates a terrifying head chopper moment too, when this jagged rock structure feels like it's coming straight at your face. The first half is loaded with ejector airtime pops, too many to count, woven seamlessly with twists and near-miss scenery. Then comes the second launch, shooting you into a towering top hat before plunging back down over the park paths. From there, you get a zero-G stall, some overbank turns, and finally, the ride's coup de grace. Just kidding, I know it's pronounced coup de grace. The Mosasaurus roll. This pulse-punching barrel roll over the lagoon hangs you upside down just inches away from the surface of the water, and it deserves to be known as one of the most iconic inversions in the world. Reviewers consistently praise Velocicoaster, and the 99.8% rating on Captain Coaster is well earned. Nathan F. says of Velocicoaster, "This is the closest thing I've seen to a flawless coaster." Meanwhile, Charlie Lamb says, "This is my number one and has been for a while. Theming exceptional and the layout is very good. The Mosasaurus roll is mad and the addition of lap bars is very good. 10 out of 10. Velocicoaster is simply everything a modern thrill ride should be. Immersive, intense, and unforgettable." Number 2, Iron Gwazi at Florida's Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is the textbook definition of turning trash into treasure. What began as Gwazi, a dueling wooden coaster plagued by roughness and declining popularity, eventually became one of the greatest RMC hybrids in the world. RMC once again stepped in, and the result? A towering beast named Iron Gwazi that opened to universal acclaim in 2022. After rising 200 feet, riders are dropped down into a breathtaking 91-degree plunge. They reach 76 miles per hour before tearing into a breathless series of airtime and inversions. The layout's highlights include a massive wave turn that flings riders sideways, and the ride's two standout inversions. These are a zero-G stall and a jaw-dropping barrel-rolled down drop. Smooth, aggressive, and filled with variety, Iron Gwazi takes the discarded bones of a failed wooden coaster and boils them up into a wonderful world-class bone broth. According to Captain Coaster, it's the best roller coaster in all of Florida, with a top score of 99.8%. Lucas Tika Cutler states, "I got off this absolutely lost for words. The first drop is unreal and every single element hits so hard." While Spencer S. says, "I only got to ride this once, but it blew me away. It was my second RMC, and I was left speechless." Iron Gwazi is living proof that with RMC's touch, even a forgotten relic can rise from the ashes as an all-time great. And fittingly enough, number 1, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. If there's one ride that defines RMC's legacy, it's Steel Vengeance. Widely regarded as the greatest roller coaster on Earth, this monster hybrid at Cedar Point proves that no ride is beyond redemption. Back in 1991, the original Mean Streak opened as an epic-scale wooden coaster. Unfortunately, its roughness and lackluster pacing turned it into more of an unhinged jackhammer simulator than a coaster. By the mid-2010s, enthusiasts were begging for RMC to give it their iBox treatment. Sure enough, a year after the closure of Mean Streak, Steel Vengeance was announced. Opening in 2018, the result was nothing short of groundbreaking. Towering 205 feet, you're greeted with a rock-bottom drop of 90 degrees, which takes you into perhaps the most outrageous layout ever conceived. This ride delivers an unfathomable 27 seconds of airtime, ranging from sustained floater to vicious ejector. Every hill feels carefully designed to throw you out of your seat in a new and surprising way. And then there are the inversions, 4 in total, including a zero-G stall and 3 brisk zero-G rolls. The course just keeps going for over a mile, weaving over and under its wooden supports in an amazing dreamlike experience. This ride truly has everything: drops, airtime, inversions, and a long-ass layout. It's no wonder Steel Vengeance is the only coaster on Captain Coaster with a perfect 100% rating. An honor that cements its place as a legend in the roller coaster extended universe. Your coaster friend states, "I was really worried about this being overhyped for me. I am quite happy to say that the worry was unfounded." And Will Hunt has this to say: "Wow, just wow. This is the best roller coaster in the world, the magnum opus of RMC. This ride has zero flaws. From the first drop to the brakes, you are constantly floating while going through the best turns in the world. The amazing pace with nowhere to hang on is an amazing feeling. Every element is insane. Steel Vengeance is truly a milestone, and for many enthusiasts, the very definition of the perfect coaster. But do you think it deserves the #1 spot too? Feel free to comment which coaster you'd pick in the comments below." Now it's time for the comment shoutout program. This is where I take 5 random comments from my previous video and read them out. These comments come from my video on the Jurassic Park ride incident. Jason Bop 6234 says, "Ouch, that is a painful burn." TLSFC 5050 says, "I'm only familiar with aviation hydraulic fluids, but I'd rather get showered by petroleum-based fluids than the phosphate ester-based fluids used in commercial jets." The Creative Kid 13 says, "Was that the spray of '98? Cat 771973 says, "Stucci is my hometown. That's interesting. Didn't know that." And Author Certified Goof says, "That's really cool that they found a way to use modified vegetable oil to run some of their attractions. I mean, they'll have a nice steady supply of the stuff from their many resort restaurants." If you want to see your words in my next video, leave a comment down below and it may be selected. Please note though that inflammatory or spam comments will not be read. I also want to give a big shout out to my newest Patreon supporter, Kooky Trails. Thank you all so much, and if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so once again at the link in the description.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media on Instagram and Facebook, or you can check out my website at themeparkcrazy.com.
And I'm on TikTok.
This is Theme Park Crazy, and I'll see you all next time.